We are heading north on a roadie, out of Auckland, up to the far north, taking to the roads to go and talk to people who never get called, whose phone numbers we do not have. The people on the front line of our cost of living crisis in a region which by almost all metrics is one of our poorest, if not our poorest. To go and talk to people about what they want from the upcoming budget, the first budget of this new coalition government. Kia ora! How are you?
Can I have a photo?
Yeah, of course. One there. Quick. The problem with doing journalism over the phone is that you only call the people whose numbers you've got, right? You get contact book journalism, which means that the same people are getting called over and over and over again, the same economists, the same bankers, the same political commentators over and over and over again. Morena! Michelle, this is Clint.
Hi Clint, how are you?
Pleased to meet you.
This is our Budget Roadie.
It's like an economic COVID without the masks.
This is Ahipara Beach, one of my favourite places in this country. Kaitaia is kind of back that way. If you're wondering what the hell we're doing on the beach, the whole of 90 Mile Beach, well, much of it anyway, is a designated highway, which is kind of bizarre. The locals drive it reasonably and safely. Just because you live in paradise doesn't mean that life is paradise, and that is the weird, confusing, confounding contradiction of the North. And you think, how the hell do we respond to this in a way that reflects what's magnificent about Northland, but also tells the tough truths too? The view is one thing, and it is magnificent, but it's not the only thing we should look at here. Do you think it's okay to pull into the car park, Clint?
Yeah.
It's not privilege, is it?
No, it's essential. I've got to park the car.
This looks promising, eh? Yeah. I'm going the wrong way, just ignore that. Don't write a complaint to the BSA. I'm clearly going against the arrow. Morena!
Hi, Mr. John Campbell.
Morena, how are you? That's a lovely smile. Morena,
Morena.
how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
You're good, you're really good, thank you. And set on?
Everything's going.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zamara Marshall and I'm head girl for Kaitaia College.
Hello, I'm Nico. I am your 2024 Kaitaia College head boy.
Hello, I'm John.
My name is Nathaniel Vermont. I am Kaitaia College's student representative on the Board of Trustees.
How's it? My name's Ash Lusich, Deputy Head Boy for Kaitaia College.
I'm so delighted to be with you glorious young people.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us. Do you feel seen by politicians? Wellington, when you hear, Wellington doesn't only feel geographically distant, but it feels kind of culturally distant. Do you feel like you're part of a political narrative?
There's a saying, not much goes north of the Mangamukas.
And we're north of the Mangamukas, right?
Yeah.
So, and then even more pointedly, the Mangamukas are closed at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel kind of like you're out of sight, out of mind a little bit?
A little bit, but everyone brings their different skills to the school. Like, there's people from all different types of environments, it's that's real good to have.
When we hear Wellington on the news, I view it as a whole different country. They're just that distant from us. But I understand that Kaitaia, we're not alone. It is all small towns.
Ash, what's your sense of politics? Do you feel seen up here?
I don't really look too much into politics, but obviously with Mangamukas being closed and stuff, I don't know if we are seen that much, because that's like I play rugby on my weekends and stuff, and like just to drive to Kaikoui, used to be an hour out of our day, now it's 2. Yeah, I'd like to be seen more, and if we were seen more, I'd hope that the Mangamukas would get reopened.
This is one of the great New Zealand signs, like it's art. It's globally significant art. Because what's that way? Kaitaia 15K. What's that way? Nothing. We're not telling you. Don't even ask. None of your business. We're just covering it. We're just covering it over. Go New Zealand. We'll cover it over. And so I'll tell you what's that way. I'm going to whisper it because I've covered it over. Whangarei. August 2022 is when that road was closed.
Like, we're just playing sports. Look at all the small businesses and stuff up here. Well, not just small businesses, all businesses up here. How much money they'll be now putting into freight and stuff in and out of Kaitaia.
Prior to the closure, Kaitaia was the hub, it was the gateway to paradise. It was the easiest path to get here. And we like that title, we like being the gateway to paradise. It is a beautiful hub here and a beautiful access to beautiful beaches.
Oh, right, I see. So if you come up State Highway 10, which is the most obvious detour, and for people who don't know State Highway 10, that's kind of up the east coast, right?
Yep.
In the old days, you would come up you would come through Kaitaia, and then you would go off to wherever you were going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you don't necessarily have to come to Kaitaia, right?
The traffic goes, no, that's right, it goes around State Highway 10, stops at Awanui, and you can choose to take your journey from there.
Why does this matter? Well, we're back in Auckland at TVNZ editing, and as we're watching the footage, we're noticing recurring themes. Theme number one, those roads, State Highway 1, both at the Mangamuka Gorge, which is right up towards Kaitaia, but also the Brynderwyns nearer Auckland, State Highway 1 trying to get to the north. Now, when you are a long way from anywhere, roads matter. When you are a long way from food supplies, from major hospitals, from other population centres, roads matter. Of course, you could use public transport, but there is bugger all of that in the far north. So this is a low-income population with really poor roading and therefore limited access to services. And at Kaitaia College, they know the politics of all of that. What do they need? What do your young people most need in terms of what central government can meaningfully do on the ground as opposed to rhetorical flourishes? What do you need?
Well, look, our young people are aspirational. They have, as do their whānau, they have the highest aspirations for their future. They're capable, talented, and what they need is what all our young New Zealanders need. They need the very best education, health system, great to have some doctors up here, but also equity and opportunity, equity and resource, so that they can participate and engage. And we know it's not a level playing field, so really it's just about working together to make sure they have all those opportunities to thrive and achieve their very best that they deserve.
It's a little bit harder because we're a little bit not as well off up here, but I think that something like keeping the free lunches going would be really good because it just benefits our students so much and everyone in the community.
So this is a school with free lunches every day?
Yeah, we get free lunches.
And there would be students at this school, as there are in many schools, for whom that is absolutely meaningful and transformative, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I have noticed, take home their lunches, a few extra lunches if there's extra ones in the class, they take them home and provide them to their families or like eat them for dinner or something. And I think that that's a really big thing with the lunches. It really helps our community.
Hello again.
We went into town.
What are you up to, John?
And we bumped into people from the Salvation Army who told us how inequity can equal hunger.
Yes, and we hear a lot of news with some of the people in the community that kids go to school because that's the only meal they have, the lunch that they get given there at school.
That would be
and it's really sad.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Lovely to see you. Thank you. So one of the things about being in the far north is that you get welcomed like that. And you get sunsets like this, ahipara, at the end of our first day. That's the Tasman Sea. And in the morning, we'll follow the west coast south. We are in the middle of nowhere. Or are we? Because if we cut the camera on the front, you will see we are entering Broadwood. Broadwood, go Broadwood. Now, if you're wondering where the hell Broadwood is, with no disrespect to Broadwood, but some of you won't know where it is, we're kind of south of Kaitaia now, heading down the west coast towards the Hokianga Harbour. And on our right, slightly obscured by the truck, the Broadwood General Store. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be special. Orena! Come here, be beautiful.
I don't really like. Do you want to come and sit with me now?
This is why you come to Broadwood, eh?
You're making my stomach sick, actually.
To meet Lisa. Lisa has never been used in a budget preview before, which is our loss. And sit beside me, Lisa. Come on. Morena. Thank you. This is Clint, by the way.
Kia ora, Clint.
Is this on? Are you hearing anything? Thanks, lovely man. Oh, are you? Thank you so much.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thanks for having me in your part of the world.
Yes, welcome to the Hokianga.
So where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Actually, I was born and bred in Auckland, but I'm actually from Whangapē.
And how long have you been back for?
Maybe 5-6 years. I love it.
What do you love most about it?
The people. What's not to love, eh? I mean, look at where we live. You wake up, fresh air. The food is the best though, eh?
What's the best food? What are we talking about?
Oh, hangi, kutai, the fish, eh? Just everything up here, everything. Yeah, I'm lucky. I feel very lucky. Surrounded by, people I love, people I enjoy seeing. Yeah.
And what do those people need? So in terms of what the government can do to make a difference to the lives of the people in this community and the surrounding communities, what would be the most important thing?
Better healthcare.
Wow, that's a definitive answer. Is the healthcare up against it a bit here?
We have no healthcare. We have no healthcare here, eh? It stops, in my opinion, it stops the whangarei,
So whangarei is how far away? A couple of hours?
A couple of hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Our people need better healthcare. Our koe, our kaumātua, they need it.
We're just going to interrupt. Wonderful, Lisa. Remember Louise, who was the principal at Kaitaia College, and how she talked about equity? Well, Lisa didn't use that word, but she was essentially talking about the same thing, and that is recurring roadie theme number 2, equity. Now, we can measure equity thanks to the University of Auckland's really useful deprivation index. So they measure deprivation on a scale of 1 to 20, 1 being almost no deprivation, you're doing really well, 20 being the highest level of deprivation in our country. And if we look at Northland, access to services, Northland ranks 19 out of 20. That is second lowest. If we look at education, Northland ranks 20 out of 20. That means a high level of school leavers with little or no qualifications. If we look at employment, Northland ranks 20 out of 20. Again, that is the lowest. And wait for it, if we look at income, Northland ranks 20 out of 20. Again, that is the lowest. So by almost all measures, this is one of the most deprived communities in our country, often the most deprived community in our country, except, of course, for kindness. Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
This has been a treat for me.
You're welcome. Are you sure you don't want a cuppa?
Yeah, I got a cup.
I'll just put the jug on.
Yeah, okay. I'd love a cup of coffee.
Yeah, okay.
You go put the jug on. Thanks, Lisa. Lisa is putting the jug on. I reckon this is one of the great short public transport trips in this country. So we've come from Kohu Kohu on the north side of the Hokianga Harbour, and we are sailing in, is that the word? We're on a little car ferry into Rawini, which is on the south side of the Hokianga Harbour. We're only on board for about 15 minutes, but it is absolutely stunning. At Rawini, we're off the car ferry in a slow-speed search for Kelly Yakis. Kelly's worked in education, early childhood education, youth development, mentoring, and even to encourage fitness and well-being as a local gym instructor. There's Kelly over there. Yeah. Kia ora. It's so nice to meet you. Kelly, John, Kelly, Clint. God, it's beautiful here, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Well, the sun's just come out.
Where are we going to go?
Well, I'm not sure.
We could go and get an outside table at the boat shed.
Yeah, we could do that.
Have a beer.
This is a boat shed cafe, and it's one of my favourites here in the Hokianga.
In terms of what this government could do that would be most transformative for the North and the people you know in this place, what would it be?
To be completely honest, I think the one thing that this coalition government could do for not only Māori but for the country is to resign. And I have deep feelings about that. because all I can see from what I have seen since I've come into power is they've actually created more harm than they have good. And that, it's outrageous in terms of the level of, what's the word? I don't know, disregard of those who are our most vulnerable and those who are needing the most. And we're not supporting our most vulnerable. And I think this government needs to do that and needs to focus on that. And when you see, bills through Parliament like the Fast Track Bill, that's going to harm our environment. And when you see the repeal of Section 7AA of Oranga Tamariki Act, that is going to cause more harm than good for our Māori children. And I just actually don't understand how legislation like that can actually be passed at that level. And if our leaders of our government have integrity, then they will know that that is not the right thing to do.
What would be the right thing to do? So setting aside that, so in the best possible world you would say they'd actually bugger off, they'd get out of government, they're not going to do that, so what would be the right thing for them to do?
The right thing for them to do would be to listen to the actual people who are working on the ground with these communities and listen to the advice that they're getting.
Theme number 3, recurring, and we'll hear more of it, the sense that central government doesn't really know these people and these communities. In other words, a growing demand for buy local, for local, that on the ground they know best what's needed, who needs it, and how to apply it. And while we were up in the neighbourhood, we popped in briefly to see somebody who has thought a great deal about that. Now, you'll have to forgive me here because I do have this guy in my contact book and he is a local politician, but local is key, not politician.
We've got a word for that now in local government. It's called localism. I know I won't be alone. I know that the other 66 mayors of this country will also stand up and preach the power of localism and the devolution of power and being able to make decisions on the ground for our communities and for our people and doing a better job at it. If we were able to get the funding and the power to make decisions and determine what we need up here in the far north rather than down in Wellington, then I promise you that standard of living will match all of those other beautiful metrics that I'm so proud of our district for, so proud to be a far northerner for. But right now we're just too far removed, there's too much bureaucracy in the way, and you are disempowered to be able to do good by your people with the current system.
Welcome to Kaikohe. If you have no idea where Kaikohe is, if you're in the South Island you may never have been this far north. We're inland and we're roughly halfway between Whangarei and Kaitaia. I remember a speech once at Ngāta Memorial College by a brilliant young student which contained the phrase, "This is the mana of our people." And mana is such an important thing, and often in discussions of Kaikohe we deny people their mana and we talk about it as a crime-riddled town, as a town full of deprivation, real meth issues here, real socio-economic disadvantage, but also there are some wonderful, well, many wonderful people here, and we're just about to meet one of them, and her name is Kane, and she runs the Mid-North Budgeting Services, which is where we are going into, and she has been here for 23 years, helping to lift people and listen to their stories and understand their lives and try to make them better. She is a very special person indeed, so let's go in. Morena! Morena! It is so lovely to be with you. Thank you, Kane, for having us.
You're welcome.
How long have you been here for?
I've been with the service for about 20 odd years. Yeah.
And tell me what you see every day. When people come in, what are they coming from?
Financially, as you know, everyone's struggling. So, it's trying to manage their finances with what they've got.
And how often is what they've got not enough?
Every day. Every day. I mean, people are struggling every day, but I mean, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, not just in Kaikohe.
No, not just in Kaikohe.
I think it's really important not to pick on this community, right?
Yeah.
Tell me what the struggles look like. Like, what are they going without? How are they living?
Well, firstly, we don't have public transport. Increase on petrol, increase with living, accommodation, and food. So it's living expenses. So it's hard living. It is hard living.
And what is the impact of all that? Are people going without food?
Yes. So we also, the food parcels, people are going around looking for food parcels. So yeah, it's just the high cost of living. Just the basics on meat and vegetables people are struggling with, and hygiene products and stuff. So yeah, it's hard.
And over winter when the power bills go up?
Yep, so people struggle to get wood. I mean, you weigh it up, the warmth, food, of course you're going to go for food. But yeah, they also need to be warm as well.
So you see people for whom the choice is either being warm or eating, but they can't afford to do both.
Yep. Yep.
Do you think we know about those lives? Do you think we know enough about those lives?
No, we don't. So yeah, no, in the last 3 years, we've had an impact with the food parcels and all that, just the high cost of living, yeah.
Are there kids having tough lives? Not just in this community, Kakohe, but...
Everywhere. The struggle is real for a lot of families. This is actually the worst that I've ever come across in my lifetime. And if anything, a friend said to me this morning, it's like an economic COVID without the masks. That was a good one. An economic COVID without the masks.
That is such an extraordinary line. And 23 years of doing this work, and Kane has never seen it tougher than now. So, roadie theme number 4, people are doing it tough. Who knows more about the far north than the people in the far north? And they would argue they certainly know more than politicians in Wellington, who are a long way away, often don't come from the far north and seldom visit it. And that may be a theory shared by the person we're off to see now, Michelle Ruddle. Michelle is a dairy farmer, and she's also chair of the Rural Support Trust in Northland. I met her last year at a dinner just outside Dargaville, post Gabriel. They were having a get-together, a kind of check-in to see that everyone was okay, just be in each other's company, a bit of a mental health check-up, and I don't know, the solidarity of people who do the same thing. So Michelle farms this land, she knows this land, and she knows the people on this land. Are some people doing it tough at the moment?
Some people are doing it really tough at the moment, yeah.
And I was so impressed by her, I remembered her and decided it was time to go back. She farms about half an hour outside Whangarei, and ask her what it is she's hoping for from this government. You have arrived. Hello, Michelle, this is Clint.
Hi Clint, how are you?
Michelle, pleased to meet you.
Come on. Come on. I'm a farmer. How's life out here? Tell me about your life.
Life's good. Life's good. Life's busy. But it's fun.
So you farm?
Yes.
So let's go through how busy your life is. You farm?
Dairy farming, yes.
Yeah.
That involves, for me, rearing all the calves, relief milking, admin, so doing the paperwork side of the business, and firstly I'm a mum.
And Rural Support Trust on top of that.
And Rural Support Trust,
Why do you do that?
I do it because I like to help support people to thrive and to see that they can do it. It's not about doing it for them, but it's about enabling them to be the best that they can be with the resources that they have.
What can the government do for the communities you represent? What is the thing that you would love more of?
More of?
If possible.
Some more certainty, and certainty through, I guess it comes down to funding. For Rural Support Trust, I'd really appreciate certainty of funding so that I'm not having to fundraise 70 to 80% of my yearly budget.
You're joking.
So add that to the job list.
Right, so as well as farming, raising children, doing rural support, you have to fundraise to do rural support.
Yeah, we will do in here, yeah. But like with rural support, my team has grown from 6 ag facilitators supporting 40 clients to 16 ag facilitators supporting 160 clients.
You're joking? 160 clients?
In Northland that we're supporting one-on-one.
And what have they been through? What's the gamut? What are you dealing with?
At the moment we are working with them on an accumulation of prolonged stress and financial difficulties and the ongoing recovery from losing their crops last year. So working through that long-term business rebuilding.
In the most serious cases, how intense, how immense, how terrible is the stress?
It's massive. It's massive. It's massive. We have multiple ag facilitators in the situation to help support more than one person. And that has a ripple effect because when you're supporting someone, you're supporting them, but you're supporting their family, you're supporting their business. And that has community effects, that has wider family effects. So that's why it is hugely rewarding to be able to be part of an organisation that just genuinely wants to see people do better.
And maybe that is the overarching theme of our roadie. How do we help people to do better? How will the budget attempt to do that? And will it reach the people in the far north? All they are saying really is see us and listen to our voices and respond. How do we end this roadie? Well, in honour of the people of the far north, who are very special people indeed, we wanted to end with some hope. And Clint, who's on camera over there, and I were filming on the main drag in Kaitaia, and we saw this young person walking towards us, and we stopped her and we said, "What's your name?" And she said,
Mariah Herbert.
And we talked to Mariah about her life. And she told us that for a while there, she was heading nowhere. But nowhere isn't a place we want our young people to go.
I was actually a high school dropout. Thought I was going to be nothing, and then I ended up in social services. I was a youth ambassador for I Am Hope around mental health awareness, going around in schools talking about all that, and then came home and studied mental health and addictions. And the stories that I heard through that study was eye-opening, and actually it was quite confronting for myself. I had to reflect on my own life for a moment there, but it's a huge passion of mine, so yeah.
I can't believe that you thought you were going to be nothing.
No, I truly did. I thought I was going to be nothing. High school dropout, just go on the benefit and live like that for the rest of my life. Had no dreams at the time, but yeah, I'm glad I stepped into the world of social services so that I could see that I wasn't the only one that was going through life trauma growing up. I didn't see it. I thought it was just normal, and it is for a lot of people, but I overcame that, and I like to share that story with other rangatahi and wahine like myself, or that are experiencing things like that in their lives now, so that they see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's not just that, you could be the voice of change.
How proud are you of yourself?
I'll say I'm proud. I'm very proud. Don't like to toot my own horn. There's still lots of mahi that needs to be done. But yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself and my whānau for keeping on going in this crazy world we live in.
To really believe there's somewhere better than nowhere and nothing. Maybe that is the central theme of our roadie. We are back in the big smoke, Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. It's a beautiful day. Wonderful work, Clint. Thank you. So let's consider what we've heard over our roadie through the far north. What have been the recurring things? What do people keep coming back to? Well, one, roads. Closed roads exacerbate inequality because of the distance and the cost of travel and the time it takes to travel. Health. If you live outside one of our big cities, that shouldn't mean the healthcare you get access to is less good. Equity. Children should not experience inequity and be held back by it. Localism, that buy local, for local theme we kept hearing, which people in the far north think will work if it's supported with adequate funding. And of course, possibly the biggest one of them all, the cost of living crisis, economic COVID, without the masks, as Kane so memorably said. So what next? Well, the budget is on Thursday, the 30th, and we've gotten a bit to talk to Nicola Willis afterwards about how she thinks her budget as Finance Minister addresses what we kept hearing in the far north. So either we'll see you just after the budget talking to the Finance Minister, or we'll see you in 6 months' time when we return to the far north to see what impact the budget has had. Politics come from Wellington, yes, but their impact is felt everywhere.